So odds compare desired to undesired events. Okay. And so these are three ways of thinking about odds. They all say the same thing. You can have desired compared to undesired events, something happening versus not happening, right? Or favor and against. Sometimes instead of favor and against, I go for, against. Okay? Sometimes I go for, against. So what you need to remember, I'll just give you a small example that you can wrap your head around. Okay? If it says, let's say it says the odds of it snowing are 3 to 5. Okay, you just see the odds like that. You should know odds because of the colon here. Okay, so 3 to 5. What is that saying? Okay, what does this mean? It tells us, right? It tells us that out of 8 days, okay, out of 8 days, where did they get the 8 from, folks? I added 3 and 5. So if we consider 8 days, right, we expect snow how many days? Yeah, we expect snow during 3 days. And no snow during the 5 days. So as you can tell, it does not include the total, right? So if you see the 3 to 5, you need to add them to get your total. Like how many instances are we considering here? Somebody open that. Okay, so that's odds in a nutshell, okay? So this diagram right here, this one right here, I would like you to have this on your study sheet, okay? So when you want to go from odds to probability, right? So you go odds to probability. Maybe you want to do this instead, odds to probability as a title instead of this. Here you go. Okay? So what you will have is when you have your odds like this, there's favor against like that. There's 2 numbers here. If I ask you for the probability of snow, then you will take the one in favor. You will grab this first number, place it on top. Okay? If you want the probability of it not happening, not snowing, you take this number, you put it there. And what do you see in the denominator for both of them? Do you notice what I'm doing in the denominator for either one of them? Yeah, so favor, so watch this. I'm going to go favor, favor, against, against. So you always add the 2 numbers together to come up with your denominator. I do not want to see, please, I'm begging you. The province will say, the odds of it snowing is 3 to 5. What's the probability of it snowing? You know what I see a lot is 3 over 5. That's what I see a lot, like 3 over 5, because hey, that just makes sense. It's actually 3 out of 8, because you got to add these 2 together. So remember that. I will circle this thing to make sure you understand. I need to add this to my study sheet. Okay? Write this down, study sheet. Okay, there you go. So let's do some math here. So I'll do a little bit of math, and then it's on you to do some work. You might have to think a bit about it, but I will come by and help you out, because you just need to try it, okay? Here you go. The odds, that's important. We're in odds territory. of the Jets winning, okay, the odds of, pay attention, odds of what? What's the main event here? Is of winning. The odds of winning the next game is 8-2. What that is telling us is that we know that the first number here is win, and the second number is, what does this mean? Lose, not winning. Okay? That's what these two numbers are representing. So if you want to go W and not W, that's the same thing. Okay? So, explain what the numbers represent. Explain what these represent. I will say this. Considering how many games would we consider if it's 8-2? Considering 10 games, okay, the Jets should, don't say will, the Jets should win 8 and not win 2. Okay, that's basically, I think it's helpful to wrap your head around, like, what does that statement even mean if someone says 8-2? The odds of you winning the jackpot is 1 in 500 million, right? It's like, whoa, that's a lot of zeros there, right? I need you to understand what that means. Next, listen carefully. If I ask you to state the odds, you should right away know, okay, this is not going to be a fraction, this is going to be a colon like that because it says odds. Odds against, highlight that word. Odds against what? Winning the next game. What is it asking for? So I want you to look carefully. If it says against blah, fill in the blank. In this case, it's winning. It could be against rain. It could be against, you winning the lottery. It doesn't matter. Then this event comes second. Like you put the win here because it says against. Therefore, the first number is going to be not winning in this particular case. So essentially, you just flip them. You just flip the original, OG. Hey, I was able to get that into my lesson today. Right? Flip the original. That's what you do when you turn something from in favor to against. We simply flip the numbers. So this will be 2-8. 2-8. C. I'm almost done. I'm just doing this page and then you're on your own. State the probability. What's that? The probability. So we're not going to have the colon, right? We're going to have a fraction. State the probability of the Jets winning the next game. So we want the probability of winning. How many games are we considering? 10. But I'm not going to just put 10 down. These are our notes. So I'm going to go 8 plus 2, okay? I'm going to actually add up these two numbers and put them here. And the first one is the winning, right? The first number represents winning. So this would be 8 over 10, which is 0.8, which is 80%. Okay, you take your pick there. Let me bring this up a little bit so if you're in the back row, you can actually see that. Okay. This looks like there we go. What did the 0 say to the 8? No, nice belt. Right? Because look, the 8 has a belt here. That's why it looks like an 8. Anyways. Tough crowd. I used that one already. You didn't remember? Some of you probably did. State the probability of the Jets losing. Probability of losing is the same thing as not winning, correct? Instead of, we know it's 20%, correct? Just by the fact that probability of winning is 80, losing is 20. But let's go back to our the odds here. Since we want probability of not winning, we know it's the 2 goes on top. And guess what? You still add up the 2 to put it in the denominator. It still stays the same. So that's 2 over 10, which is 0.2, which is 20%. And there you have it. Winning and not winning. Remember I told you that yesterday, the probability is always 100%. It's always 1. It matters which one you add, of course, decimals or percentages. Okay, so before you go anywhere, I'm going to say pages 17 to 20 is what you're doing for the rest of today's class. 15 minutes, 14, but let's put 10 minutes in and then wind down. Okay, thank you guys.